everybody, this is Nate with another Backcountry beer review. Today I'm in eastern Arizona in the Apache National Forest, and I climbed to the top of Escudilla Mountain in the Escudilla Wilderness. It's a P2K in Arizona. It's very close to the New Mexico state line. I'm actually planning on hiking up Alegres Mountain in western New Mexico tomorrow, and this was kind of a close by peak. I figured, what the heck, it sounds like fun, let's go to Arizona. And the fact that I'm currently sitting on a fallen tree that has fallen on top of the summit cairn, which is pretty much like the essence of this mountain. There are a lot of down trees, and because of that, I'm actually not going to open this up until I get back to the lookout tower area that you can maybe see behind me there. It's much more maintained, much fewer down trees. The beer I'm reviewing today is by St. Bernardus Brewery in Watteau, Belgium, and it's their ABT 12. So as the label kind of implies, St. Bernardus has a monastic history. Their beer is pretty much in the line with the Belgian style, monastic style beers, right? You can typically see them brewing triples, doubles. And this is a beer and this is a brewery that is actually a lot of people's favorites, and a lot of people very highly regard the brewery and this beer. If you want to find out more about that, Beer Brackets, they're a great channel. They have a lot of information about this beer in particular and this brewery in particular. I really recommend checking it out. There's some cool trivia about the brewery, some fun Easter eggs, wink wink, and I can't say that I've been disappointed by anything I've had by them. I'm not gonna lie and say that I'm super well versed. I think I've had this, I've had the Christmas ale, I've had maybe the triple, and that's actually about it. But they being the Beer Brackets guys, kind of recommended me to, or requested me to review this beer, and I thought that sounds like a great idea. I love to explore the world in beer form, and what better way to explore the world in beer form than while I'm kind of exploring other parts of the country in hiking form. So like I said, I'm gonna walk over at a very, very slow pace. Check out my hiking video on this peak, it'll be pretty informative. But I'm gonna walk over at a very slow pace back to where the trail starts back up, and then we'll review it there, which should also be interesting because I don't have a bottle opener. So you might be able to see me smash this bottle into 1,000 pieces and cut my hand open. Who knows? Stay tuned. Success! We opened the beer without shattering glass or breaking my hand or cutting it open. This beer is really hard to describe as anything less than the sum of its parts. To me, it's sort of like saying, oh, hey, describe Beethoven Symphony No. 5. Well, there are violins in it, and trombones in it, and a timpani in it. Like, it doesn't, or it's like describe a Leonardo da Vinci painting. Well, there's some parts that are like dark red, and then there's a little bit of a lighter red. It doesn't do it justice, is what I'm trying to say. But nevertheless, I'll try to do it anyway. I get at the outset this rich malty note. I'm getting this chocolatiness. It's just like rich chocolate syrup, dark chocolate, and then kind of the yeasty esteriness really comes through at the forefront to meld with the malt to create interesting flavors. I'm getting, of course, with this type of beer, I oftentimes get banana. So I'm getting some banana here, but it's sort of like an interesting banana. And with the chocolate note, to me, it's very reminiscent of making a homemade chocolate and banana smoothie. I'm also picking up some of these dry, dusty spices. Tiny bit of cinnamon, tiny bit of cardamom. Getting a little bit of like cocoa powder. Just these dry, dusty notes. Later in the profile, I'm getting more of kind of dark, fruity, leathery notes. I'm getting leather, maybe raisin, maybe dried cherries. I'm getting a little bit of like upholstery, leather upholstery, just that woodiness. I'm getting maybe a little bit of tobacco, but I definitely would lean more towards leather, though I find that it actually doesn't have the kind of pepperiness that I sort of associate with leather. It more has just that leathery taste. Sorry, don't have anything else for you. Fruit leather would be a good one, and that's just beyond like saying, oh, it's fruit and it's leather. It has that kind of dry but not syrupy fruit note that I like a lot. There's a little bit of booziness on it. I wouldn't call this a boozy beer, but you definitely taste the ABV to some extent. The finish is actually, I think the finish is pretty bitter. And to me, it's bitter in an almost herbal way. I don't know if that's the hops coming through or if it's just the natural flavor of the yeast and malt and hops coming together. It's almost like eating a piece of sage. I don't think it tastes like sage, but it's got that kind of herbal bitterness when you eat, you know, fresh herbs. There's not much else for me to say about this beer. I mean, a lot of people have their opinions about this beer on the internet, and you can find out, but really you should be going to the store and buying it and trying it yourself. It's definitely a classic beer. I dare say there's not a wrong time to drink this beer, except maybe when you're driving, but it's delicious. 2 thumbs up. Cheers, and have a backcountry beer for me. Well, this video will probably air in early June, which means that the next video begins the start of lager summer. So I did this last year, and I'm just going to feature lagers all summer. So if you like lagers, or maybe you want to learn more about lagers, tune in.